Welcome back to History and Freemasonry, where ancient symbols reveal timeless truths. The Square and the Sword, Freemasonry, and the American Civil War. In the darkest days of America's Civil War, when brother fought brother and the nation teetered on the edge of collapse, there was one brotherhood that stood above the fray, a fraternity older than the Republic itself, rooted in secrecy, united by symbols, and guided by ancient principles. Freemasonry. Freemasonry, or the craft, was no stranger to American soil by the time the first shots rang out at Fort Sumter in 1861. In fact, many of the Founding Fathers were Masons, including George Washington, Benjamin Franklin, and Paul Revere. This brotherhood wasn't just a social club. It was built on ancient rituals, moral teachings, and a belief in the great architect of the universe. Masons took oaths to uphold truth, charity, brotherhood, and secrecy. Above all else, they were taught to see each other not by race, creed, or even political allegiance, but as brothers. As Masonic historian William R. Denslow writes in 10,000 Famous Freemasons, Masonry unites men of every country, sect, and opinion in the bonds of fraternal affection. When the nation split in two, so did the Masons. Masonic lodges could be found on both sides of the Mason-Dixon line. Generals, captains, doctors, and privates alike. Many were Masons. Confederate General Albert Pike, a 33rd degree Mason and sovereign Grand Commander of the Scottish Rites Southern Jurisdiction, helped shape post-war Masonic philosophy. On the Union side, General Winfield Scott, a Mason, carried his apron into battle. Despite the bloodshed, the teachings of the craft endured. As historian Michael Halleran writes in The Better Angels of Our Nature, Freemasonry and the American Civil War, 2010, Freemasons often found themselves working to aid their brothers, regardless of uniform. The battlefield didn't stop Masonic virtue. At Gettysburg, Union Captain Henry Bingham, a Mason, is said to have risked his life to aid Confederate General Lewis Armistead, also a Mason, after he fell mortally wounded. Bingham ensured Armistead's personal effects, including his Masonic badge, were returned safely to his family. And in Tennessee, Confederate soldiers reportedly paused during a skirmish to allow a Union Mason to complete his degree, inside a tent, under fire. According to Robert Gould in History of Freemasonry Throughout the World, there were repeated instances where Masons gave shelter, food, or even safe passage to enemy combatants who gave the Masonic distress sign. While churches and homes burned, Masonic lodges were often spared. The square and compass, etched into cornerstones and over doors, were respected, almost sacred, even among enemies. Some lodges continued their work throughout the war. Traveling Masonic lodges, affiliated with regiments, held meetings in tents and barns. These military lodges helped soldiers preserve their moral compass amidst the horrors of war. As quoted in A History of Freemasonry by Albert G. Mackey, Masonry kept alive the flame of mutual respect and reminded men that even in war, humanity must not be forgotten. When the cannons finally fell silent in 1865, it was Freemasonry that helped bind up the wounds. Masonic lodges were among the first to welcome former enemies back into the fold, without condition. The lodge was a place where North and South could sit side by side, bound by oaths older than the conflict. This fraternity, founded on allegory and symbols, became a quiet yet powerful force for reconciliation. In The Builders, 1914, author Joseph Fort Newton describes Masonry not as a religion or a political movement, but as a fellowship of mutual help, a school of character, and a gentle league of peace. Today, the Civil War lives on in books, battlefields, and memory. But the Masonic stories, of mercy in the midst of madness, of brotherhood beyond battle lines, remind us of a deeper truth, that even when the world is divided, there are those who will still reach across the lines, not as soldiers, not as enemies, but as brothers. Please like, subscribe, and share to spread the knowledge. Thank you.